Here's another problem that has asked me to solve a quadratic equation. We recognize this equation as quadratic because there's only one variable and the highest power that we have on that variable is squared. I'm going to try to solve this by factoring, meaning that I first need to get 0 on one side, which we already have, and then I want to try to factor the non-zero side. We see this as a trinomial, and so if it's going to factor, it will factor as two binomials. The first thing I need to do is find factors of 12r squared. I could use 6 and 2 to get me 12, 3 and 4 to get me 12, or maybe even 1 and 12. I will try factors that are close together first, such as 3 and 4. I use trial and error when factoring this particular type of trinomial. I now want to look at the last term, the negative 8. I need two factors of negative 8. I could use 8 and 1 or 2 and 4. There is a rule in factoring that says you can't put factors in the same group that share anything other than the factor of 1. And so in this particular situation I could not use 2 and 4 because I'd be forced to put factors in this group that would share a factor. So let's try 8 and 1. If I use 8, I can put 8 in that group because 3 and 8 don't share a factor. I can put 1 in that factor, in that group. Now I need to check this factorization. To do this, I check only the inner product, which is 32r, and the outer product, which is 3r. If I'm able to combine these two values in such a way that would give me the middle term above, then I know I'm on the way to having my factorization correct. If I made the 32 positive and the 3 negative, then 32 minus 3 would be 29. To do that, I would make the 8 positive and the 1 negative. Finally, just to double check myself, we notice that if we multiply these two terms, that for sure gives me 12r squared. If I multiply these two terms, that for sure gives me negative 8. And so I know my factorization is correct. Okay. I'm going to erase some of this scratch work so I can see better what I'm doing. Alright, now that I have this factored correctly, I set each of these factors equal to 0. So 3r plus 8 is 0, and 4r minus 1 is 0. We know that if the product of two things equals 0, then one or the other of the two factors must be 0. To solve the first equation, I'll subtract 8. So I have 3r equals negative 8. Divide by 3. I have r equals negative 8/3. For the other one, I would add 1. So I'd have 4r equals 1. Divide by 4. So I'd have r equals 1/4. For the online homework, the way that I would need to enter my answer, I believe they already have r equals, and then they'll have a box for you. You would need to enter each solution and then separate with a comma.